Right lads, welcome back to another video, and this one is going to be my SPFL Games of the Week. I think you're all kind of familiar with it now. I go through the Premiership, Championship, League 1 and League 2 and pick my Game of the Week from each individual league from the game week just past. So without further ado, let's jump into it. And first up, my Premiership Game of the Week. So the SPFL Game of the Week for the Premiership that I'm choosing for this week is Motherwell 1, Ross County 2. For all, this game massively came to life in the second half after a first half where nothing really happened in terms of goals or anything like that. The second half allowed obviously Motherwell to go ahead. They were playing relatively well up until that point, and the goal that they scored was a good wee passing move. It actually looked really crisp stuff, and on the BBC report they classed it as a touch of class. And I've seen the highlights of this game, I saw them today, and I really was impressed with that first goal. It was really slick passing movements, and at that point in the game Ross County weren't really in it that much, and Motherwell of course had taken the lead, and you probably would have put your house on them just going on to see out that game, perhaps score another goal and then get the 3 points. However, Ross County substitute Brian Graham came on and got the equaliser in the 75th minute, leaving 15 minutes for Ross County or Motherwell to get a winner. Obviously both teams would have probably wanted to win this game. It's the type of game that if you're wanting to really push into the top 6, which I imagine both these teams will have some sort of aspirations to do, especially Motherwell, then you want to get a winner in these type of games. So the game was finally set up for that sort of outcome. Motherwell's Jake Carroll though, he had other ideas. He was booked early in the game and then got sent off in the 80th minute with just 10 minutes to go in the game. Motherwell were down to 10 men, and as I said before, one team would have wanted to go on and win this game, and in this case it turned out to be Ross County who went on to win the game and scoring an 88th minute winner with Ross Stewart grabbing the goal. His 8th goal in 11 games this season. I've seen Ross Stewart score goals in League 1 for Alloa Athletic and scored goals in the Championship for Ross County last season, of course, in the promotion season, and now he's scoring goals at Premiership level. So he's proven that he's a consistent goal scorer at all levels of Scottish football. If you can get a consistent goal scorer, you're going to do relatively well. And now Ross County have got 2 wins on the bounce, and Ross Stewart has played a big part in getting this win for Ross County. It shows a lot of character for Ross County to pull back a win from 1-0 down, away from home as well. Ross Stewart scoring the winning goal actually came from the right hand side, which would have been where Motherwell's left back would have been, and I believe, if I'm not wrong, that's where Jake Carroll would have been on the pitch, and perhaps if he was still on the pitch then he would have been there to stop that. But in football you can't really deal with if, buts and maybes. Once things happen, that's basically it, and Ross County have went on to win this game, and it shows what Ross County are going to bring to the Premiership. I tell you what lads, for some reason my voice is really struggling in this episode. But now, moving on down to the Scottish Championship. Now of course a fixture that I could have made my SPFL Game Week for the Championship this weekend could have been the 6-pointer down at the bottom of the league between Partick Thistle and Dunfermline. Obviously a fantastic win for us, Dunfermline, and a not so good result for Partick Thistle, but it has really urged their board to make the appointment of Ian McCall after he left Ayr United. And speaking of Ayr United and Ian McCall, they are my Game of the Week this weekend after they defeated Alloa Athletic 4-1 away from home. Officially this was Ian McCall's last game as Ayr United manager, and he actually said that when Ayr United were 4-0 up at half time away to Alloa at the weekend, that in his 20 years of management that was one of the best halves of football that he's seen as a manager. Of course that's a credit to the Ayr United players that are putting in the performances like that at the weekend, but it's a pure credit to Ian McCall and the job that he's done at Ayr United over the years. He's been there for I think 4 or 5 seasons now. I think this may have been his 5th season. I may be wrong on that front because I don't have the exact stat, but he was there a long time, and it's a really successful managerial reign for Ian McCall at Ayr United. They've seen it all, as I said in the last word yesterday. Promotions, relegations, promotion and playoffs last season, Lawrence Shankland scoring all those goals, and now they're sitting joint top of the Scottish Championship. And Ian McCall has left them to go to the team at the bottom of the Championship, but you can obviously see the reasons why he's went there, because of the emotional pull that Partick Thistle has for Ian McCall. In terms of the game of the week at the weekend, Alloa Athletic 1, Ayr United 4. It really does show what quality Ayr United have at their disposal this season especially. I praised their signing of midfielder Kelly in recent weeks on loan from Rangers, but the goals actually came from different players in this game. 2 from Alan Forrest, 1 from Ross Coburn, and 1 from McCowan, who is another youth product at Ayr United. So looking at that score sheet, it must be pleasing for Ayr United fans to see the youngsters scoring goals and not having to really rely on just the one player this season like they did with Lawrence Shankland in parts last season. They've now got a good team who can score goals all around the team. So it's a good thing for Ayr United, despite the woes of losing Ian McCall. Hopefully they can bring in the right manager to at least not be on such a downer after losing such a key component in the last few years at Ayr United. So that's that for the Championship. Now moving on down to Scottish League 1. And I'm going to be honest lads, this week in Scottish League 1 I really tried to avoid putting East Fife or Dumbarton in it. And unfortunately they had the game of the week in my opinion, and it was against each other. So even though I've mentioned them so much on this channel this season already, I can't avoid it this week because I think genuinely they have provided the game of the week in League 1. The full-time score finished East Fife 2, Dumbarton 2, and it really goes to show the character of a team like East Fife, who were unbeaten so far this season and coming back for 2-0 down, and it shows the quality that Dumbarton have to have went 2-0 up in the first place. Of course, it's not that great to lose a 2-0 winning margin and draw the game 2-2, but they have still taken something out of the game and taken away something from a ground that hasn't seen a league defeat so far this season in the Bayview Stadium, home of East Fife of course. East Fife dominated the game in terms of possession. It was 63% to 37%, and that's probably quite correct. I mean, as I said, East Fife unbeaten at home. They were top of the league at the start of the weekend just there, and you would probably expect them to dominate possession at home. But the shots and shots on target ratio was quite similar, and it proves that Dumbarton do have good quality this year. And I have mentioned it in recent weeks that I have been really impressed with what Dumbarton have had to show so far this season. After that 6-0 gubbing against Falkirk at the start of the season, where I and probably quite a lot of other people thought they're probably doomed for relegation this season, they've came back and shown a real fighting spirit this season, and even drawing with East Fife away at their stadium is an impressive result despite losing the 2-0 deficit. I'll give both teams their plaudits this week because I believe they both deserve it equally, and East Fife probably a bit more because they have come back and stayed undefeated in the league, which is an impressive feat considering that we're 5-6 games in. So well done East Fife, well done to Dumbarton this weekend, and they are my SPFL Game of the Week this week for League 1. And finally, moving on down to Scottish League 2. So my final Game of the Week in this week's episode is Albion Rovers 1, Edinburgh City 3. And in the last game, East Fife versus Dumbarton, I was talking about how equally matched the game was and I was giving plaudits to each team. In this one, it was pure domination for Edinburgh City. If you go by the stats, that is anyway. Possession stat, 42% for Albion Rovers and Edinburgh City 58%. Shots, Albion Rovers 3 and on target 1 shot, and Edinburgh City 15 shots with 7 on target. That's pretty much domination. To go away from home and limit the home team to just 1 shot on target all game. Of course, the main gripe for Edinburgh City will be that Albion Rovers' 1 shot on goal gave them a goal and they weren't able to keep a clean sheet in a game that they were so dominant in. But overall, I don't think he can be that mad at anything that's happened in this game for Edinburgh City. They've went away from home 1-3-1, and it keeps them keeping the pace with Cove Rangers at the top of League 2. I actually thought Edinburgh City might fade away a bit this year, but it looks like they're going to be up there, at least in the promotion places once again, and results like this go to show the difference in quality from certain teams in the bottom tier. But that's it for this video, guys. My voice is very thankful for that. It's really struggling. Like the video if you did enjoy it. Comment down below your game of the week for the SPFL this weekend, and subscribe for more of this type of content. And until the next video, which I think I'm going to do a double upload today, so look forward to that when it comes. But until that video, I'll see you then. Cheers, guys.